Hi, once again, student. This is Nate Lewis, pilot in command, Pilot Lewis. I wanted to go over a couple of quick things in this short version. This is just what they call a pre-flight checklist. Now, the pre-flight checklist, the big thing about it is it can be used whether or not you're a hobbyist or a professional. So I'm going to go through both of them because they're the same scenarios. So here's a hobby drone. This is called the GTI Tello. I fly this around for my hobby. It can fly up to, 100 feet in the air. It doesn't do anything the professional drone does, but it can take pictures, videos, and I can have fun around my house, just like I'm doing today, which you'll be able to do. It doesn't matter what's happening around your house, you still want to be able to fly your drone, take pictures, take videos. This drone right here does a lot of tricks. It does flips, bounces off the ground, it goes around you. So you can kind of program this drone to do some things that you really wanted to do and have some fun with it. But before you start flying it, here it is, just like any other drone. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that battery's charged. So I spent time charging it way before I decided to bring it out, and the charger says it's charged and it's green on the charger. Then I want to make sure I insert it correctly and turn that drone on. Once I turn the drone on, the drone's going to flash some lights. You can't see them right now, but it'll flash some green lights to tell me, hey, pilot in command, this battery's fully charged, it's ready to go. So my next step would be always to check my blades, pull up on my blades a little bit to make sure that they're on there snugly, number one. Then I'm going to check my motors. These are brush, motors have brushes in them, but I want to spin my blades, make sure they're spinning, okay? And then I'm hitting my safety guards. Then number three, I want to pull on my safety guards also. I want to pull on my safety guards, making sure that they're on my drone and they're not falling off in the air either. Then I want to look up underneath my drone because there's some height. This thing can stay in the air and it knows where it's at in the air. So if these height feelers are not there, it won't know where it's at in the air, okay? So you want to make sure nothing's on the bottom of it and it just can move around like it wants to move. So this is a real simple check for this right here. But that's what you want to do. Then you want to check and make sure it's paired with your remote. And then when you get it in the air, you want to put it in the air for a little while with you and let it stabilize itself in the air. And then you want to go left with it, right with it, forward, back with it to make sure, up and down, to make sure you have control of it before you take off with it, okay? So that's the pre-flight checklist with the hobbyist drone. Now, we get to the professional drone. Here's where it's a little different. This is called DJI Phantom 4 Pro. It has a video camera, 4K camera. It has obstacle avoidance all the way around it. It knows where it's at. It flies on GPS, so it knows where it's at in the world, on the globe. But the checks are still the same. So the first thing I want to check on here is I want to check the landing gear to make sure nothing's fell off on the landing gear. Number one, because this thing has to land. Okay? Number two, what I want to do is I want to check my battery, make sure my battery doesn't fall out. Now, one thing about flying a drone, you never know where you're going to be at. That's why I'm out here, because I use this drone to work in the community, to do projects at people's houses, to fly, construction sites. That's why I got you out here while somebody else is doing construction. Okay? It doesn't bother you. Don't let it bother you. You want to check and make sure your camera's there and it's working correctly. And then third of all, you want to check your blades. You want to make sure your blades on here are there. You want to pull on them, make sure they don't come off on you, because you fly this between 100 and 400 feet in the air. Okay? You want to make sure that they're on there. Then, once that happens and everything is all set, you want to spin your blades the same way. Spin my blades the same way to make sure everything's okay with my blades before I spin this up. And then number three is I'm going to actually always tilt it here, there, and I want to make sure my sensors are clear. And this thing is like ready to take off. After this, I want to take my controller, pair it with this, and go through all of the checks that are available on my controller. Making sure it's paired with it, it'll move my camera around. This is the first part of just thinking about a pre-flight checklist before I fly my drones. Thanks a lot. I got more sessions coming on, and we'll get back together soon. Students, let's get ready to fly.